This one is called Strawberry Pickers, and it was inspired by, we had gardens. Well, the boys were growing up. We grew a lot of our own food, and the boys, my sons, would just love to go out and find these hidden treasures, strawberries, under the plant. So I just thought that was so much fun that it inspired me to do a painting of it. And like, I don't know if I could have been really focused on finding the strawberries. I might have been the girl hanging in the tree. But we always, the cats are always coming along. Our cats are coming and nosing in to see what was going on. So yeah, I was just inspired by the things that we did. It was just neat. It's just really fun. And this is another little springtime one. This was inspired because when Joey was little, he was out in my garden and I was teaching him how to make wishes and blow dandelions. And oh my gosh, there's a painting. I mean, it's just something we always did, That's Joey with the curly hair. He was probably about 2 or 3 there. And that's, was inspired by him. But just seeing something you did when you were a kid and then now your kids are doing it. It's just so sweet. I love the flowering trees in spring. So that inspired it too. And birds, all the birds are coming out nesting. This was a spring one that I had done. I did a series. I love this size. I don't know what it is. I love long, narrow. And, we had a little kitten named Jenny, and she was jumping up in my my flower boxes. And I love dogwoods. I just love spring. The earth is coming back alive. So that's what really inspired this one. And it's one of my most popular prints, of course, because, it's so full of flowers and stuff. This one is a little springier. This is a little bit later in spring, but have you ever seen foxgloves? The pictures, the flowers, they're tall and they look like little horns. They grow in the shade because I live in the woods. I'm always looking for, flowers that grow in the shade, and they get real tall. And we had a wheelbarrow and our cats would always sleep in it. And I just, again, this was our cat, Biggles, and he loved, just laying around while you're gardening. They're always right there with you. But again, it's a little later in the spring, but I just love flowers when the earth, it comes alive again. It's just so much fun. I was at a friend's house, and that's when here's that, that long narrow again, 5 by 9. And she had a bench like this outside of her house with all these pots of geraniums, and there was a cat. She didn't have a cat, but there was a cat sleeping over here, of course. It was a nice place for a kitty to take a nap. So, I took a picture of it, and that's what inspired the painting. It's real simple, but I love it. It's peaceful. This is one that we just had the special on. This is the twig chair. This has a good story because my husband made me a twig chair. He found, the saplings out in our woods and made me a chair like that. And I always have a bird bath out because I love watching the birds. And of course, you could never sit in the chair because the cats were always sleeping in it. But again, it's a little more midsummer with, daylilies and roses, which I love old roses. So again, just, inspired by life. I love antique roses. And my oldest son's name is Abraham. That was what we picked for him. And I found a rose. It's called Abraham Darby. And I love pink roses too. So it was really neat. Whenever that blooms, I just, it reminds me of him. And this is springtime on the farm. This is a local farm. This is just about 20, 25 minutes away. And I was driving by. It's on the other side of East Berlin, Pennsylvania. And it looked just like this. I took pictures, forsythia was blooming, the pink trees, the cows were out, and it's very, very typical of this area, the stone farmhouse and barn. So it truly inspired me. It's one of my most popular spring prints. Then this was another one we had a special on. This was a Victorian tradition that inspired this, that they had names for all the flowers, or, meaning for the flowers. Of course, the flowers had names. And I just thought that was so fascinating. Like, if you wanted to tell someone you love them, you would give them certain flowers. If you wanted to tell someone something else, you would give them certain flowers. And, I love flowers anyway. So that's what, I just love that. I love this idea. And then this is this building, which is now my shop. It first was our 2-car garage, but I needed a gallery. So my husband made it into a gallery for me. And, I love sitting out here and painting. And we have, deer that come in the yard, and, I have roses growing during the year, and the boys are in the back with our dog, Duke at the time. playing in the woods. Again, it's just inspired by life. I'm so lucky to live this life, and I love sharing it.